I need to speak to you about Stephen Connolly.
Who?
Let's not, shall we? She is a phenomenal actress. And she was phenomenal to work with. When you look at Sheba coming into that school, you know, she's a very different kettle of fish. And I think that's what Barbara becomes obsessed with. She's the one I've waited for. Then I realized I could gain everything. You are forever in my debt.
So it's a fine line that one has to walk, you know, which Judy has done brilliantly.
I'm not going to report you. I want to help you.
Sheba's mistake is that she underestimates Barbara. She's categorized her and has no idea of the depth of her despair.
People like Sheba think they know what it is to be lonely, what it's like to construct an entire weekend around a visit to the laundrette. I always knew we'd be friends.
Secrets can be seductive.
I thought you understood what friendship means. I gave you exactly what you wanted. She's the one I've waited for.
I certainly couldn't have done it without the book. I couldn't have conceived of a story of two women and written it in the way that it is had Zoe not first written the novel. It's something to do with some kind of moral license that the novel gave me to explore women in a completely unsentimental way.
Hello?
I need to speak to you about Stephen Connolly.
Who?
Let's not, shall we?
I was a bit sick of that kind of the Oprahfication of female friendship, that, you know, all women sit around saying, "You're not fat," you know, and being supportive and loving each other. And of course, women are as subject to spleen and envy and competitive feelings as men are.
I'm not going to report you. I want to help you, to support you through this.
I remember when the book first came out, it was perceived as being caustic about women and female friendship. Any work of art is not a kind of political statement about the genders that happen to feature in it. These two women happen to have a malign relationship.
But I'd like someone to do an opera of it. Not that it would be my business, but I think it could make a great opera.
You need me, I'm your friend.
You've cost me my family.
I gave you exactly what you wanted. No! She's the one I've waited for. I always knew we'd be friends. Then I realized I could gain everything. You are forever in my debt.
Thank you so much. Having Judy play a character like Barbara, who is, at first, I think, very unlikable, because Judy has a natural warmth. You do forgive her a lot of things, or at least understand them, because otherwise she could have simply been a witch. You know, stirring the cauldron.
You're not young!
Why is she always here? What kind of spell has she cast on you?
And a very unusual part for Dame Judy. It's someone who is effectively evil, very, very manipulative. It will be interesting to see what the audience make of it, given that it will be played by Dame Judy.
Hello?
I need to speak to you about Stephen Connolly.
Who?
Let's not, shall we?
Judi Dench is universally loved. Her voice, people identify with this magnificently beautiful and brilliant English person.
I've such a dread of ending my days alone.
So what's rather shocking is that you hear the voice of Judi Dench rather caustic and acerbic and bitching. It's a thrill, I think, to see this is not a nice woman she's playing.
I gave you exactly what you wanted. Now, more than ever, we are bound by the secrets we share.
I'm Sheba Hart.
The first day of a new term.
You don't know how beautiful you are.
We both get into terrible trouble.
I just think she is fantastic, imaginative, and quite inspirational to work with.
Marriage and kids, I mean, it's wonderful. It doesn't give you meaning. This is the distance between life as you dream it and life as it is.
I was absolutely blown away.
I can see why others are beguiled by her.
She's extremely well prepared and researched, but instinctively brilliant. And she obviously understands this job very, very well.
Why is she always here? What kind of spell has she cast on you?
Give me a minute, will you? I can handle this.
When they start making a movie of your work, you hope they do something good in terms of casting, but you don't really think that these people are going to match up in any degree with the people in your head when you're writing. I've just seen Kate Blanchett and, you know, she's as near as damn it to the incarnation of what I had in my head.
You've cost me my family.
Secrets can be seductive. How did you first hear about it, Bill Nye?
I'm trying to remember. I think I may have heard about it from Robert Fox, who is the English producer, and I knew that you were involved, and I knew that Judy was involved. It took me 30 seconds to say... Approximately. I checked my diary, which was empty, and I decided that no, it was a wonderful opportunity. I was very grateful to come, and it was such a good script and a great part. With everybody in every department so classy, with yourself and with Dame Judy and with the whole of the cast. It's a terrific English cast, I think.
With the odd Australian thrown in
with
there.
The odd Australian. No, I meant
The very
apart
odd Australian.
from everyone else in the movie. It's a really distinguished cast, and Chris.
I mean that's the thing about something like this, isn't it? That it's often you get sort of a psychological thriller like this is, but the characters somehow atrophy. But there's extraordinarily, I mean, what Patrick's done is he's really painted these fantastic characters that were so subjectively described in the novel and given them the life of their own. So, I mean, to have actors like to have you and Judy to play with was like really completed the whole picture.
Yeah. No, it was a very happy thing. It's a tribute to the script that it attracted so many major talents. I mean, throughout the cast, I mean, in depth, you know, some wonderful, wonderful people. How did you first hear about it?
Oh, well, I first heard about it.
You'd read the book?
I read the book, and it was a fat book, but fortunately the print was very big, so I read it very quickly. I mean, there's something you having such a wicked, intimate conversation with Barbara Covert in the novel. I mean, some of her observations about Fatty, the fact she calls her Fatty Hodge, and talks about, you know, that she's this type of woman who wears daylight panty liners every day of the week. You just gasp, because that's just something you don't say about another woman, or certainly don't admit to. And so when you hear that in the voiceover in the film, you just think, this woman is dangerous. And there's a kind of a thrilling roller coaster ride the audience goes on, just waiting, and for kind of the ultimate showdown between the two women. Yeah. But so when I heard that Patrick Marber was writing the screenplay, I did call him, which is quite unlike me. I usually sort of am quite fatalistic about work and wait for it to either come or not come.
And was it then? Was everyone else? I mean, what stage was it at? Had they not thought of you anyway before you called? Had you been?
No, I just sort of popped round to Patrick's.
Oh, I see.
Under the auspices of having our children play together, and said, what are you working on? No. And then he told me that Scott Rudin was producing, and that he'd just literally begun to write the screenplay. And then that was the last we'd talked about it. And then I, through my agent, I got a first draft of the script, and then had a chat met Scott, and then it was told that Judy wasn't free. And then she sort of, I think, made herself free, which was fantastic. Yeah. And then you were the clincher. I was about to walk away, really, until you committed.
Thank you. I don't care what you think, but these are decent people, actually. And this is what happened to them. I know that's dubious in moral terms, perhaps. But
I think
it just is. You know, it's bigger. It's kind of worse than you have a terrible woman who does a terrible thing. It's kind of worse than that. She's not.
Good people do bad things.
Yes.
I think it's just how irreparable the situation is. That there's no easy neat bow that can be tied out of the mess of strings that have been untangled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopeless.
and the damage wrought on the children, I think, I found particularly painful, and also because it's a feeding time at the zoo in terms of how the media consumes something like this.
Yeah. But it was just easy and sweet and dreamy, and it just seemed seamless, actually.
But I think that is, and I mean that comes down to the atmosphere that the director creates on set, and it was very effortless.
Yeah.
I think. And also because I mean I hadn't worked with you all before, but there's such a crossover of the theatrical and film worlds.
Yeah.
So there was a kind of a camaraderie that you kind of get in a rehearsal room in the theatre, but you don't always get on a set.
Yeah.
So immediately, I think.
No, quite. I agree. Richard is very encouraging and intelligent and sneaky, and kind of comes at you at angles. I've worked with him before. He flattered me by giving me a degree of space, I suppose. I mean, he didn't, unless there was something very particular. He did let it rock to a large degree, and trusted his performers, which was the sign of a good and experienced director. And he kept a very nice, friendly and encouraging atmosphere on the set, which was useful. It didn't seem like a scary place to go, ever.
No.
It seemed like and it did seem like a useful place to be. Patrick was around every day, wasn't he? I think, virtually. He was very good company on the set. And
really available. And I mean also he really loves actors.
Yeah.
And so I think his sort of curiosity and interest in the whole process it made it feel really important.
Yeah.
And the script was so well wrought.
Yeah.
And he was always coming up with little suggestions and additions, which helped too, sort of knowing that there were sort of lines that may have previously been cut that could be then thrown back into any improvisation or...
Yeah.
Judy's a big crossword doer.
Judy does the crossword. I'm not terribly good at it. I tried to help.
There was a bit of a book open. I mean, Patrick's a big horseman, as is Judy, so there was a lot of that going down.
A bit of betting went on.
But I mean, I think mostly the preparation that you do for film, and also in between takes, is basically to stave off the anxiety of actually doing it. So the more chit-chat there is, the better, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you play one half of a married couple, I always look at the schedule and think, okay, at what level of intimacy are we entering this exchange in?
Yeah.
I think we kissed on the first day, we sort of just launched straight in. It's like I had this scene with John Turturro in a film with Sally Potter once, and I'd never met John before, and with the first day we're in bed together. It's sort of it's sort of ritual humiliation.
You do wonder, whoever does the schedule, how much are they trying, to make it kind of embarrassing. Yeah, no, I remember now. Yeah, we had to kiss on the very first day we met, or the very first day.